In multiple scenes in Metal Gear Solid 3, the boss performs this takedown maneuver on Snake, where she simultaneously takes his gun apart. Similarly, in Lethal Weapon 4, Jet Li's character performs a similar maneuver where he takes an M9 apart during a fight. This intrigued the martial arts as well as the gun nerd in me. Just how realistic is this scene? And is it even possible? At the end of the prologue, the boss confronts Snake on the bridge. Snake is using a modified Mark 22 pistol, a modified Smith & Wesson Model 39 handgun. The Mark 22 historically was intended to replace the 1911, but was never adopted by the Army. However, the pistol proved popular with Special Operations Forces like Navy SEALs during the Vietnam era, so it's a completely fitting pistol for the game setting. Taking the Model 39 apart requires pulling the slide back to where it matches up with the slide lock, and then pushing the slide lock itself out of the gun. Then the slide and recoil spring can then be pulled forward and off of the gun. To get a closer look at this scene, you can appreciate the attention to detail that was given, as you can not only see that the slide is going backward, but also that the slide lock itself is being knocked off the gun. In another scene, at the start of the main story, after Snake has landed, he is once again confronted by the boss, and he once more proves unable to shoot her. So, she, like clockwork, takes him down and dismantles his 1911. Perhaps we could chalk it up to a bad angle, but she appears to be squarely planted within the line of fire while she is performing this takedown. In the first scene, she is placed in a secure position due to the outside of Snake, which should protect her in the case of a discharge and also provide a point of domination during grappling. However, in the next shot, she is seen sidestepping, simultaneously grabbing the slide of the pistol as well as Snake's wrist. This would also be a realistic placement for a disarming technique. By grabbing the slide of the gun, you not only have some control over the direction of the barrel, but you can also prevent the gun from cycling, which could cause a malfunction, as we discussed previously in the Ocelot video. If you hold the slide slightly back, the gun won't actually fire, even if the trigger is pulled, as this is a safety mechanism to prevent an out-of-battery firing. In the extremely likely event that the gun does discharge, it most likely won't cycle around, meaning that the wielder must manually clear the malfunction in order to shoot again, which could be exploited in hand-to-hand combat. Many online disarming videos might overemphasize controlling the gun itself. However, you must remember that they will always have a superior grip on the gun than you will ever have by simply grabbing onto the slide. It's one or two hands wrapped around a textured grip versus one hand trying to grab onto a metal cylinder. Plus, in a real situation, your opponent isn't just going to stand there while you try and take the gun away from them. They will likely just retract their arms toward their body and shoot you. So needless to say, you really shouldn't try this out in the real world, but it is fun to talk about. But this is why her left hand is so important here, as it's grabbing the wrist of Snake's shooting hand. You don't necessarily have to control the weapon itself, if you can control the hand that's wielding it. The boss then performs a hip throw and snatches the gun away from Snake, where she promptly takes the 1911 apart once more. This shot, like many others in the game, are modeled with great attention to detail, as you can accurately see the parts coming off of the gun, like the magazine, the round in the chamber, the slide lock, and the slide itself. However, you never do see the recoil spring, which should be visible while the slide has been pushed back for disassembly, although it wouldn't be visible during normal operation. This could either be a mistake, or it simply wasn't worth modeling. In the movie Lethal Weapon 4, Jet Li's character performs a similar maneuver where he takes an M9 apart during a fight. This is actually a lot less involved than with the pistols we previously mentioned, as the M9 has a takedown lever, which makes it very easy to take apart. You can actually see that they already had the lever down during a still shot of the scene, which meant that all he really had to do was pull on the slide to make it come off. Of course, no one would actually have their gun like this during a fight, but it can still easily be done by a normal person with some knowledge of guns, as seen in this Forgotten Weapons video.
Well, he's got me now. Or does he? Ha ha!
The short answer to the question, while it is possible, it's not very practical. But there is more to it than meets the eye, so that's worth talking about. What are some of your favorite realistic action scenes from video games or movies that I could take a look at? Let me know down in the comment section. And until we meet again, this is the Ronin,